Hey everybody, it's Liz. This is my July update. We've got lots to talk about. We've got some whips, cross stitch whips. We've got whip go, and we're going to talk a little bit more about knitting and spinning, which I don't know why, but for some reason my knitting bug is back in force. So, yeah, there's a lot to go through. I'll put those at the end for those of you who are just here for the cross stitch so that you can cut out if you want to. So let's start off with the cross stitch whips. First one is my Irish Mandala. Um, there's not a lot to see here. This is it. Working on that middle piece. It's hard to tell from this, but that is 6 or 7 different colors, all specialty threads for the most part. So there's a lot going on here. This whole empty spot is going to be filled by specialty stitches and beads, a lot of beads. I'm fighting the urge to do the beading now because everyone said don't do it, but I want to so bad because I want to fill it in. So yeah, that's where I'm with that, to get a nice little bit of work done on that. That is definitely going to be a marathon, not a sprint, because there's a lot to this. It's very very exciting though that it's so complicated. So next up is Deadly Aquarium. So like I said, I've fallen off on this one. I'm a bit behind, but look at how pretty these colors are. Like they just pop. I am about 2 clues behind right now, but that's okay. This doesn't have to be done with everybody. I'm okay with that. But I sure do love these colors. That fire coral is gorgeous. So, and this fabric is, I'm really enjoying working on it. So that makes me happy too, because sometimes linen can be a bit of a struggle. But this has been going really well. So falling off, but we'll get there. Next up, all right. So the reason why I've fallen off on the Deadly Aquarium is because I picked up this new piece. I saw it on Mod Cross Stitch, and I had to have it. And then as soon as I got it, I needed all the materials. And as soon as I got the materials, I needed to start it. Um, you know, a lot of times I will deny myself doing that. But when the stitchy bug hits that hard, you have to go with it. You just have to say, you know what? I'm doing this. So it's Pirates of the Caribbean. This is an entire page of 939. And I did that in like, I don't know, 2 weeks because I wanted to get down to the people. And so there you go, a little bit of Elizabeth Swan. This is done really well. Honestly, I'm going to tell you the charting in this is nice. There's not a ton of confetti. There's confetti. I mean, there's always going to be confetti in full coverage, but there are nice swaths of color to work on. Even inside, like you can see there's some confetti in here, but there are also areas that are pretty solid one color, which makes it kind of fun to stitch because it's not just constant confetti. So Mod Cross Stitch, I'll put their info below. Really enjoy this pattern. Probably going to get more from them. This is my first one. And this is the poster basically of the movie, which my husband saw this. I showed him what I bought and he was like, really? We're doing movie posters now? Yep, we sure are. They're some of my favorite movies, so I had to have it. So that's the other one. So that's most of my cross stitch whips, which isn't a lot this month. But also, I didn't wait a month to this video, so that helps, right? So let's talk about Whip Go. Whip Go in June, we had numbers 2 and 25. 2 was needlepoint on my board, which was cool. And so I picked blue hydrangea, which I finished. I have a finish. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the colors in this, the purples and the blues. This is one of those ones that while I was working on it, I thought, these colors don't go together, like, especially in some of these leaves, like some of these colors, I was like, that just looks odd. But when it's finished and you look from far away, not right up on it while you're stitching, they're gorgeous. I love this. So that's my helpful hint to everybody. Whenever you're looking at something you don't like it, put it down, walk across the room and look at it from there, because sometimes that really changes your perspective on it. So I'm going to finish this one into a cushion, not a cushion. What do you call it? A footstool. I have a couple footstools that my mother-in-law bought years ago and never was able to finish. They're just perfectly meant for covering with needlepoint. And I'll show you when it's done, and it'll make a whole lot more sense. The only problem is that this doesn't quite fit, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of just around the edges. I'm gonna pick whatever one of these colors I have. Oh, sorry, loud car. Whatever one of these colors that I have a lot left of, and there's a ton left from this kit. These old Busilla kits, let me tell you, they give you plenty of yarn. So I'm gonna just do some around the outside just to make sure that it's completely covered when I put it on the stool. But that is gonna be amazing. I'm really excited for that. I'll keep it here in my office. Okay, the next one was 25, which I had as Christmas, which so funny because when that number hit and I saw Christmas, I laughed. I knew that I had done that on purpose, but the funny thing was I didn't remember doing it. So gave myself a little laugh there. And I asked you all to vote on which project I should do for Christmas. Sorry, they're repaving our neighborhood, which is a whole nightmare. And apparently the trucks are getting in right now. So anyways, so you all voted and Royal Holiday won by a landslide. So here's where she is. Got her out of the Q snap so you could all see her top to bottom. She is looking amazing. It's at that point where it's hard to tell what I've done, but what I did this time, oops, she's kind of fiddly, is I filled in a lot of this. This is all metallic in here. There's a ton of metallic in here. So I filled all of this in, finished out down along here. So this is what I got done. A lot more stitches than it looks like. These are always amazing how many stitches there are in them. It's so much more than it looks like. But I really love working on this beauty, and I'm really hoping to finish her maybe this year, because yeah, I would love to get her finished. So for July, the numbers called were 6 and 23. Again, and I think I might rethink how I do this next year. Both of them are the same thing, because I came up with not 12, more than 12, but I didn't come up with 25 completely different items on the board. So some things were duplicated on purpose. I didn't realize that my luck would be that they would all get called together. This is the second time I've had 2 of the same thing called. So both of these were something from the Year of Whips that didn't get finished. For those of you who don't know, Year of Whips is a challenge that the Soulful Stitcher put together. It's been going on for a few years now. Check it out if this sounds like something you'd like to do. But what you do is you pick out approximately, oh gosh, I can't remember the number. I don't know if there is an actual number. You pick out however many whips that you'd like to get finished in the year. There may be a minimum. And then you post pictures of them. And as you go along and finish things, you post pictures of them. If you finish half of what's in your album, you're entered for prizes. So it's just kind of a fun way to motivate yourself to finish. For me, though, this is where I found out that I am a contrary jerk and I refuse to do what I tell myself to do. So, I finished one project out of 8 or something that I picked. So yeah. So that it just didn't work for me. But I'm trying with WhipGo to finish some of them up. Um, so my first one that I picked is called Whispers in the Pines. And luckily, this one I actually have a picture nearby to show you. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. It's very glary. This is an old sweetheart tree. I actually purchased this at a cross stitch, not a convention, market. They had like one of those little markets years ago. This is copyright 2003, so not as old as some of mine. So this is where I am with it. This is a very cool piece. Oh, come on, focus, focus. It doesn't like it, but very cool piece. It's got not a lot of different colors in it. It's got a little bit of specialty threads, but nothing crazy. And it came with a bunch of beads. You can see them. They're kind of shimmery there. And this little pine cone. This little pine cone. So very cool little piece. I'm working it. They call them ribbons, these little limes. I'm working at one of them at a time, and completing it completely and putting in all of the beads and everything. So I am about halfway done. The heart is right in the middle with that. So that is my first whip that I'm working on for July. I don't know what the other one's going to be. I'm thinking maybe my Birds of Paradise. That was one of them, which just needs to be backstitched. So that might be what I do, but I don't know. I keep changing my mind. So stay tuned on that. Maybe next month we'll find out what I did. For WhipGo altogether, though, my goal for the year was to finish 4 whips, and I am now at 3. I have 3 things finished, and I am including that blue hydrangea because I finished it. So, yeah, we're doing great. I'm really excited about that. Sorry, just trying to look at my notes here. So that is everything for cross stitch. It's not that much. Summer is so busy for me. I don't get a lot of stitching time and my job is crazy right now. So, that's all I got for the cross stitch. If that's all you wanted to see, thanks for coming. Otherwise, let's get on to the knitting. First off, I have a finish for knitting. These are my Paragon socks. What's really interesting about this colorway, it looks like the one is shadowed by the other. That's not true. They really are that different in color. Which I don't know, I like it. I like the effect. This yarn is not showing up quite true to color. I'd say the front one looks a little bit more true to color, but it's just a lovely blues, kind of a buttery yellow, which goes to a beige color at times, a little bit of green. So really pretty colorway. I love this pattern. This is a very busy monkey pattern. If you're a knitter and you haven't found her, check her out. She's got some great patterns. She does a lot of things that look very intricate, but when you get into the pattern, they're actually very simple. So really enjoyable to stitch or knit. So finishing one pair of socks means you have to start another one, right? So here's my next start. These are called Katniss. The sock themselves is not that interesting, to be honest. It's a kind of vanilla pattern. It's just ribbed, and that ribbing is going to continue all the way. And then there's a single cable that's going to run front and back in the leg, and then just down the front on the foot. This is a Zauberball Crazy. Again, the colors, the light is weird today. It's very gray out, but it's dark blues and purples and greens. Very pretty colors, so I'm excited for that. This is being done as part of the Sock Down Challenge on Ravelry. for any of you who are ravelers. They do a challenge every 2 months. It's actually, they start one every month, but it runs for 2 months so that you have 2 months to finish a pair of socks. These are pretty simple, which was on purpose for this yarn. So, because anything a little too difficult, you know, too much of a pattern with this kind of crazy yarn is never going to show. So, this is going to show up, I think, really nicely with this kind of crazy patterning of yarn that I've got going on here. Another one is I have a Gemini sweater that I'm restarting. This doesn't look like much right now. Yeah, it's just a little start. There's a bit of pattern that you can see. This is a pretty simple, they actually call it, they call it a pullover in some places, but they also call it a t-shirt. I don't know. I'm not a fan of calling them t-shirts because to me, t-shirt is a cotton t-shirt, you know, that's machine made. But it is that kind of shape. I'm using bamboo yarn for this. It's a bamboo blend that I just happen to have enough balls of. So it's kind of soft, feels almost t-shirt weight. So that should be kind of cool. And then the last one that this is another restart. I have this gorgeous ball of yarn and you kind of can't see all of it because as you can probably tell, I started something with this and didn't like it and frogged it out. This is 3,000 meters. Yeah, 3,000 meters of lace weight. So finding a pattern to use for this was difficult. I've got a little baby start here. Look at how small it is. This is a Wedding Peacock by M. Mario, who has sadly passed on, but his patterns live on. I've done a few of his shawls, and I think this will be gorgeous with that color change. So, yeah, I told you my knitting bug was strong. This is all started in the last week. Yeah, a week. So I'm going on a vacation in September. And so part of this is getting projects on the go for my vacation. I always find it easier if I've got it started, because if I have it started, I've thought through all the pieces that I need, the different yarn holders or needles or stitch markers or whatever. I'm not real good at thinking it all through real well prior to starting. Also because sometimes, you know, you look at the pattern and you go, yeah, I think I'm going to go up a needle size on this, or I think I'm going to put some stitch markers where they didn't have any. So I just find it easier if I get it started first, because then I've thought through that a little bit more. So I'm preparing for my vacation. I'm so excited for that. Okay, so last but never least, spinning. It's Tour de Fleece. That's our spinners. We all do some spinning while the Tour de France is running. It's crazy. It's wonderful. I love it. I am not on a team because I am crazy during the summer. There's just so much going on. I actually have plans every single weekend until August sometime. So that makes trying to do something that's, you know, more organized really difficult. But what I'm trying to do this year is just spin a little bit every day, maybe half an hour while the tour is running. Except obviously weekends, which are just crazy. If I can get it done on the weekend, that's great. So no big rules. That's what I'm doing. So I just finished this morning while I was watching Flosstube. This beautiful, it's a merino silk blend. I'm pretty sure from the feel. I lost the card. I know, I always lose all that stuff. So beautiful light blue color. It's got a little bit of purple running through it. That's kind of hard to see. But finished that today. It's about 225 yards. So kind of a perfect length to put together with something. Kind of looking forward to using it. So that's my first finish of the tour. I think what I'm going to start on next is this, and I'm sorry, there's going to be a lot of crinkling. These are all in bags to keep them safe. Very important with your fleece to keep it safe one way or another, whatever works for you. This is a blue face Leicester, only 110 grams, so this will spin up pretty fast. That's going to be next. Beautiful red color. And then I've just got a lot of fiber, guys. I've got a lot. So I've got this. This is gorgeous. It's a Porth. I love how it says organic. I'm not really sure how fleece could be inorganic unless it was plastic. But so I've got a bunch of these kind of 4-ounce type deals. This is from New Mexico. I actually probably picked this up when I was in Taos. Nice color. I think this will be a fun one to spin. It's very soft. I have a couple ounces of this roving, which doesn't even say what it was. This is probably meant for, probably somebody meant this for needle felting. But yeah, I'm gonna spin it. I've got another one in similar color. Can you tell I like blue? I don't know. Is that a noticeable thing? Maybe. This one is unmarked as well. Oh, no, there's a little thing in here. It just says 125 grams. Probably another BFL because I think this is from the same place. You can see that little bit of dark blue peeking out. Oh, it's going to be pretty. What else have I got? Oh, a little alpaca. This is from Iowa. I think I got this at the Alpaca Festival in Denver. Look at that beautiful light color. That'll be fun. And then I've got another alpaca. It's about almost 5 ounces from Blazing Star Alpaca. I've actually got two entire fleeces from this same place, Blazing Star Ranch. Yeah, from the same alpaca. One of them I have spun already. The other one I have not. So I love alpaca. It's so much fun to spin. It's so soft. It is fiddly. It is one that you have to get your twist just right. But this is a darker color. The one that I have the full fleeces from is that reddish color that just to die for. Okay, and then last but not least, I have this lovely pink Woolly Wonka. What is this? WW Roving. This is another merino silk. So it's really nice and soft and fluffy. Yeah, so that's just a taste of what I have because I do have several whole fleeces, both sheep and alpaca, because I was at the stock show one year. We always go the last weekend, the Denver Stock Show, because that's when they have their bison auction, or well, they used to actually auction off meat that you could buy, like an entire bison. And we would do that, but they haven't done that in the last few years. So it's probably a good thing I haven't gone, because the first couple of years I found they also had their fleece show that same weekend. They did the judging for fleeces and they did a silent auction. So I put my name and a price down on several things, thinking, I'll never get these because I put like the starting price. And then they called me and told me I'd won all 3 of them. So yeah, I got them at a steal. I think they were like $40 each for an entire fleece. We're talking, 3-pound fleeces. So I have enough stuff to spin for the rest of my life. Because then the next year I went back and I got 2 more. So yeah. I have a lot of spinning to do. But that's okay. Because I love it. The cleaning is intense, the prep work is intense, but I actually found out that there's a mill not too far away. It would be a bit of a journey, a couple hours, that I could take them to and have them professionally cleaned. So I'm considering that, but that kind of takes away from part of, the process. I think cleaning it, preparing it yourself is a big part of the process, but I've done that. So I don't know. We'll see. I might do that. All right. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for all of you who have subscribed. and liked. Leave me your comments. Let me know how you're doing. Happy stitching, knitting, whatever you're doing. I hope you're enjoying it. Have a great summer.